Part 2, Chapter 8 of Masters of Space. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by R.J. Davis. Masters of Space by Edward Elmer Smith, a.k.a. E.E. Doc Smith and Edward Everett Evans. Translated by Robert Cicchinelli, Stephen Blundell, and the online distributed proofreading team. Part 2. They were the masters, and they had only to choose eternal life as inhuman monsters or death. Masters of Space by Edward E. Smith and E. Everett Evans. What has gone before? The crew of the starship Orion found themselves in the middle of a great space war between the creatures called Strets and the lost android servants of their own human ancestors. Helped by the androids, the Earthmen formed themselves into the powerful telepathic linkage called peyondix to invade the Stret planet itself. As their minds joined, they heard the android Thule cry out, "Good!" And then their minds were out in interstellar space. Chapter 8. Hilton did not have to drive the peyondix beam to the planet Stret. It was already there. And there was the monstrous First Lord Thinker Zoyar. Into that mind his multi-mind flashed, its every member as responsive to his will as his own fingers, almost infinitely more so in fact, because of the tremendous lengths of time required to send messages along nerves. That horrid mind was scanned cell by cell. Then, after what seemed like a few hours, when a shield began sluggishly to form, Hilton transferred his probe to the mind of the second thinker, one Lord Ynos, and absorbed everything she knew. Then the minds of all the other thinkers being screened. He studied the whole Stret planet foot by foot and everything that was on him. Then, mission accomplished, Hilton snapped his attention back to his office and the multi-mind fell apart. As he opened his eyes, he heard Thule scream, "Luck!" "Oh, you still here, Thule? How long have we been gone?" "Approximately 1 1/10 seconds, sir." "What?" Beverly Bell, in the haven of Franklin Pointer's arms, fainted quietly. Sandra shrieked piercingly. The four men stared goggle-eyed. Temple and Teddy, as though by common thought, burrowed their faces into brawny shoulders. Hilton recovered first. "So that's what peyondix is?" "Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. No, I mean, yes, but..." Thule paused, licking her lips in that peculiarly human female gesture of uncertainty. "Well, what do you mean? It either is or isn't. Or is that necessarily so?" "Not exactly, sir. That is, it started as peyondix, but it became something else. Not even the most powerful of the old masters, nobody, ever did or ever could possibly generate such a force as that, or handle it so fast." "Well, with 7 of the best minds of Terra and a..." "Chip-chop the chit-chat," Karn said harshly. "What I want to know is whether I was having a nightmare. Can there possibly be a race such as I thought I saw? So utterly savage, ruthless, merciless, so devoid of every human trace, and so hell-bent determined on the extermination of every other race in the galaxy? God damn it, it simply doesn't make sense." Eyes went from eyes to eyes to eyes. All had seen the same indescribably horrible, absolutely atrocious things. Qualities and quantities and urges and drives that no words in any language could even begin to portray. "It doesn't seem to, but there it is." Teddy Blake shook her head hopelessly. Big Bill Karns, hands still shaking, lit a cigarette before he spoke again. Well, I've never been a proponent of genocide, but it's my considered opinion that the Strets are one race the galaxy can get along without. A hell of a lot better without, Pointer said, and all agreed. The point is, what can we do about it? Kincaid asked. The first thing I would say is to see whether we can do this, whatever it is, without Tuli's help. Shall we try it? Although I, for one, don't feel like doing it right away. Not I, either. Beverly Bell held up her right hand, which was shaking uncontrollably. I feel as though I've been bucking waves, wind, and tide for 48 straight hours without food, water, or touch. Maybe in about a week I'll be ready for another try at it. But today, not a chance. Okay, scat, all of you, Hilton ordered. Take the rest of the day off and rest up. Put on your thought screens and don't take them off for a second from now on. Those Strets are tough hombres. Sandra was the last to leave. And you, boss? She asked pointedly. I've got some thinking to do. I'll stay and help you think. Not yet. He shook his head, frowned, and then grinned. You see, chick, I don't even know yet what it is I'm going to have to think about. A bit unclear, but I know what you mean. I think. Luck, Chief. In their subterranean sanctum turn on distant Strat, two of the deepest thinkers of that horribly unhuman race were in coldly intent conference by a thought. My mind has been plundered, Gynos, First Lord Thinker Zyor radiated harshly. Despite the extremely high reactivity of my shield, some information, I do not know how much, was taken. The operator was one of the humans of that ship. I, too, felt a plucking at my mind. But those humans could not peyondire, First Lord. Be logical, fool. At that contact, in the matter of which you erred in not following up continuously, they succeeded in concealing their real abilities from you. That could be the truth. Our ancestors erred then in recording that all those weak and timid humans had been slain. These offenders are probably their descendants, returning to reclaim their former world. The probability must be evaluated and considered. Was it or was it not through human aid that the Omens destroyed most of our task force? Highly probable, but impossible of evaluation with the data now available. Obtain more data at once. That point must be and shall be fully evaluated and fully considered. This entire situation is intolerable. It must be abated. True, First Lord, but every operator in operation is now tightly screened. Oh, if I could only go out there myself. Old fool, your thought is completely disloyal and unstretly. True, O First Lord Thinker Zoyar. I will forthwith remove my unworthy self from this plane of existence. You will not. I hereby abolish that custom. Our numbers are too few by far. Too many have failed to adapt. Also, as second thinker, your death at this time would be slightly detrimental to certain matters now in work. I will myself, however, slay the unfit. To that end, repeat the words under my peyondering. I am a Strat. I will devote my every iota of mental and of physical strength to forwarding the great plan. I am and will remain a Strat. You do believe in the words? Of course I believe in them. I know that in a few more hundreds of thousands of years, we will be rid of material bodies and will become invincible and invulnerable. Then comes the conquest of the galaxy, and then the conquest of the universe. No more then, on your life, of this weak and cowardly repenting.